Hello everyone, welcome back to Motivation with me. I'm Natasha Pereira, and today we'll be doing a reflective story. Now, before I begin, yesterday we spoke about motivation and teenagers. So we found out that how parents should approach their teenagers during times of trouble or even times of difficulty or even during times of happiness. Because we all know that teenage life, that phase, that age group, that's the time or the phase your child begins to understand their role, their importance, and significance to the society. So, let us begin with our story. The story I'm going to tell you is about a mother and her son. It's going to teach you how to be strong mentally and emotionally, to cover up all those pain, to bear up all that pain, that anger, that unfair environment you've all been facing. And nothing is ever going to be easy, but if you don't put out your self-perseverance, how could you ever end up coming to the ending line? How could you ever achieve your goal? So, I hope this story will help you understand and make you look at life in a different perspective. So, Sarah was a young girl, a beautiful young budding flower, loved by her family deeply, even by her friends at school. She was very smart, very friendly, and just full of smiles. One day, she was out in her garden, and she was playing, when suddenly she was kidnapped by someone. Her mother noticed that the garden was empty, and she was nowhere to be seen. That was when the mother got so scared, and the parents, both of them, endlessly and effortlessly searched for her, but they could not find her because they had no clues. The police also enlarged and escalated all search reports, all findings, but nothing was ever retrieved. Poor Sarah, don't you think? Why did something like that happen to a poor little girl? She was only 17. So, let us now see what has happened to Sarah. The rapist took her and locked her up in a bunker which was completely soundproof. She could not hear the world from outside, and neither could the world hear her. The rapist kept her for his own pleasure. And as time went by, Sarah was pregnant, and she gave birth to a healthy boy and named him Carlo. She was still kidnapped with her son in that bunker for an extra 5 years. Now, Sarah and her son Carlo were just much as alike, full of budding smiles, adventure, and even so energetic, even though they were enclosed in such a small space. Sarah knew that she had to protect her son, no matter what the cost. She didn't want her rapist to ever lay a finger on him. Because Carlo was so young, she never told Carlo of the dangers of the world out there. Carlo only knew of the calm environment he had in his bunker. Sarah never wanted her son to know the bitter truth of the world out there. One day, the rapist came home, and Sarah noticed that he had not brought any vitamins or supplements for Carlo, because since Carlo was not allowed to go outside and not even had the slightest ray of sunlight ever cross on his cheek, he needed his vitamins to stay healthy. That's when Sarah understood that the rapist had lost his job. So she wanted not to make a scene because she would upset the rapist, which would in turn bring danger to her son. Every night when the rapist came to her bunker, she would always instruct Carlo very firmly to always stay hidden inside the locker. Sarah did this because she didn't want any danger or harm, either physically or mentally or emotionally, come upon her child. After all, that's a mother's love, isn't it? What do you think? Now, one day, Sarah had enough of this life. She wanted to go out. She could not stand this. She wanted her son to have a future and not grow up in such a state. So, she devised up an escape plan. One day, she suddenly told Carlo in a story the wonderful world it was outside their bunker. She told him of all the colors, all the people, of all the places, so beautiful, so colorful, so bright that Carlo would even have to jump over a rainbow. Carlo was very fascinated by this and he wanted to see this world. But his mother told him the only way we can see it is if we are very quiet and if we are very smart. Sarah wanted to trick the rapist into telling that due to his negligence of not getting the vitamins and supplements that Carlo needed, he passed away due to ill health. So, Sarah pleaded and begged the rapist to at least respect her last wishes to give her son a proper burial, or in this instance, an escape. Sarah then took Carlos's body, which was not seemingly dead, and wrapped him up in numerous blankets and gave him to the rapist. The rapist took the boy, which was wrapped in blankets, and kept him on the truck. Sarah cried her heart out, hoping and praying that her son would be all right as soon as he was outside the bunker. Of course, Carlos was scared. Every minute of the drive, every bump, every U-turn of the drive scared him. He thought that his heart was going to beast out of his chest. Such a little boy. He was only 5 after all. But when the van stopped, Carlo immediately followed his mother's instructions and got out of the blankets and ran as fast as his legs could carry him. Carlo ran and ran. When the rapist saw that Carlo wasn't dead, he ran after him. Carlo kept running, fearing for his life, and finally he was saved by a police officer. When the rapist saw that there was a police officer, he quickly turned back. Carlo then told the officer that he needs to find his mom. He needed his mother. The officer then looked at how Carlo was very scared and very frightened. He carried him in and took him to the police station. There they asked Carlo where his mother was. All Carlo ever was able to tell them was what his mother looked like and what his home was like. So he described every detail of the bunker. Not soon after, the police was able to find that type of bunker, the very right one that Carlo described. Carlo and his mother were reunited, and the rapist, well, he was caught, of course. Carlo and his mother hugged immensely each other. Even though it was for a short while, they missed each other so much because Carlo had never been away from his mother, not 1 second. Sarah was able to finally go home to her parents, and were they immensely happy. They were so happy that their daughter was safe and that they had a grandchild. So Sarah and Carlo spent their days with Sarah's parents. At first it was normal. It was very fun, loving family. They were happy that both their children, the love of their life, was safe. Sarah, on the other hand, wasn't. She was suffering deep inside. She always asked herself, even after Carlo's birth, why such a thing happened to me? Even at some points in her life, she exerted that anger out on her mother. She wondered why such an unfortunate incident had to happen to her. She could have gone to college. She could have lived her life, lived her dream of being a vet. After all, that was her dream when she was 17. Never changed still. One day, Carlo noticed that his mother was not in bed. She was in the washroom for a very long time. When he opened the bathroom door, he saw that his mother was on the ground and foaming. He screamed and screamed that his grandparents came rushing down and saw that Sarah was trying to take her own life. They put her in a psychiatric hospital where she was receiving care and attention. Carlo now was very upset. He'd never been away from his mother this long. Until one day, he asked his grandmother one favor. He asked his grandmother to cut his hair for the very first time and to give it to his mother. The grandmother was very curious and asked Carlo, why? Why do you wish to give your hair to your mother? Carlo said, my hair is what makes me look strong, so I want to give my strength to my mother, because then I know that she'll be okay. Those words melted the grandmother's heart. She was so happy of how her grandson, being ever so young, how he knew how to help people, those whom he loved, those who were close to his heart. So the grandmother did what she was supposed to do, and she went to the psychiatric hospital and told Sarah the exact same words Carlo told her. Sarah was discharged within a month later, and Carlo and she were reunited once again, happy as ever. She took out the block of hair from her pocket, and Carlo was surprised to how she had kept it all this long. She told her son, "Thank you." So you can see right now from the story, a girl who wanted everything, who didn't even have a future. It was taken away from her. She suffered depression. She was kidnapped. She had to undergo childbirth alone. She had to raise her son alone for 5 years. She had to plan an escape route which almost endangered her son. The endless nights of crying, the endless times she was worried that any danger would come upon her son because of the rapist. Yet she was able to pull through. Of course, at some point of her life, she had someone to help her. But who was there when no one wasn't there with her, before her son? So you can see, life is hard. Life is challenging. But it's worth it in the end. Your rewards are much greater. Your rewards are much worth it. Your rewards only tell you how much you are worth to the world and how much worth you carry within yourself. So, be like Sarah. Be strong, and know that if you ever fall down, there's always someone going to be there to help you come up. It can always be a family member, or even a close friend, or even a stranger. But be careful of strangers. But always trust your family first. And understand that Carlo grew up to be a wonderful father too. And that's because he knew and he was shown the love of a mother. Because of that love his mother, Sarah, showed, he was able to show to his own children. And now, I end our story, and I hope that it was enjoyable. So I'll meet you soon for the very next video, which will be tomorrow. So hope you all enjoyed. See you next time. Take care.